PM Tribe, and welcome back to Sewing with Diminat Designs. I am Diminati, and in today's video, we are going to be learning how to draft a basic bodice block, half scale. So, if this is what you are interested in, please keep watching, and I'll see you in the video. Thank you.
Welcome back to the class. So in this video I'm going to be showing you the necessary materials required for this pattern drafting class or introduction to pattern drafting. Okay, so the first things that we'll be needing is our tape measure. Of course, without this you won't be able to do anything. Okay, now you're going to be needing your fabric scissors for cutting your fabrics or your calico. Okay, now again you're going to be needing a paper scissors. Please, dear DM tribe, always differentiate between your paper scissors and your fabric scissors, because at any point you use your fabric scissors to cut your paper, your fabric scissors will go blunt. Please write it down, is a tip, don't forget. Okay, the next things that I will show you is pencils, the 2B or HB pencil. You might need an eraser as a beginner. You might make mistakes when drafting and you might need to correct them. Okay, so you'll need a white paper like this. You can buy from these printers or people that sell in the market. I get my papers from Rookie Lawal. You can check her out on Instagram. Basically, most of my stuffs I get it from her. Both the healing mats, the French curves and all. Okay, you can check her out. She's legit and she delivers. Her customer service is top notch as well. So you will need your paper marker and your fabric pens if necessary. These are optionals. Okay, most times I don't even use it. I rely on my pencils, but for the purpose of this class I might be using them for clarity in my drafting so that you understand more. Okay, but basically the international standard for drafting patterns is pencils. Okay, so that if you make mistakes you can easily erase them. All right, now the next thing I'll be showing you guys is these zigzag scissors. These are scissors most times you see they used to cut all these ashoke and gele in the market. You can get it in the market. Also you can get from Rookie Lawal, anyone. Now I'll tell you why I asked you to get these scissors. Please, it is compulsory. Now for those of you that will say, I don't have a serger, I don't have a weaving machine, I don't want to see anybody submitting any tacky practical. So if you're not going to get a serger, you might not be able to afford it now, please get these scissors. It can make your work neat to some extent. Okay, so you use it to cut your fabrics when you're transferring. Okay, after making your straight lines, so that when you're sewing it will be that to some extent you have made your work neat. All right, so this is also a highlighter. So you will need a straight rule. Okay, you need a straight rule. You will need this variform curve. This is basically for pants and skirts. You will need this armhole curve. Okay, you need this armhole curve, very necessary. You can get them from the bookshelves or bookshops, and like I've said, also you can get from Rookie Lawal. If you want to, you can also order from Jumia, Konga, and other ferry services that are available. Okay, this one is also a French curve, and it has this diagonal point here, and it also has the straight part of the ruler. So it's not compulsory that you get all of this. I'm just showing you. You can lay your hands on the basic ones. If you can get this straight one, you can get this, and any other one you can afford as a beginner is fine. Okay, so the next thing that you'll be needing for this class is fabrics. Well, though for this stage, I would really advise you to get this calico, but anyone that you can afford for now. You can get the cheap Ankara in the market, and you know, practice, it's also okay. Or you get the calico as well. It's also called muslin. Okay, most people know it as a calico. You can use it to try out your patterns, test fit them, and see how it fits before you be able to transfer to fabric for best fit. Okay, so of course we'll be needing a sewing machine. It is very compulsory. If you don't have a sewing machine, you cannot cope in this class, unless of course you'll be hand stitching, which I know will take you, if it's something that you're going to make in 30 minutes, you see yourself making it in over 5 days or 3 days. So please, you can save and get a sewing machine. If you cannot afford a big sewing machine now, you can get the handheld one that they buy from Jumia. Though please, instead of you to buy that one, just save up money and buy a real sewing machine. Even if it's the domestic tabletop machines, I'll show you what it looks like now. The domestic tabletop machine you can also get from Rookie Lawal. You can also get from Jumia. Okay, so this is mine. This is my tabletop sewing machine. Okay, you can get this from Rookie as well. This is what I use. So with this, you'll be able to make zigzag stitches. You'll be able to make straight stitch as well. Okay, so it's very affordable. You can reach out and get at the best prices. All right, I think this is better than because it's easier to carry about, and you can take it to anywhere. And it's electricity, saves you the stress of pedaling before you're able to learn how to use an industrial machine. You can get domestic tabletop machine. Okay, so thank you. These are the necessary materials that you require. Then you can get anything of your choice that you might want to use to embellish your dresses and all, but this is a beginner's class. I don't really think it's necessary. The most important thing is for you to learn how to make these dresses to be at the best fit. Thank you. Hello DM5, welcome back. um Welcome to pattern drafting class 101. Okay, so this format of pattern drafting is derived from draping on the dress form, but because we are Africans, it's not everybody that has the luxury of getting different sizes of dress forms and making dresses for people. That is how we derive this pattern of drafting on the paper and cutting and then sewing it. Okay, so this is a replica of what you would have done directly on the dress form, which is what we are doing on the pattern paper now. So to start with, I ruled out 1 inch from the edge of my pattern paper and from this edge as well, and I ruled it down this way. Okay, just to get a base one, because I noticed that my pattern papers are fraying. So this is totally optional. You can choose to do it, you can choose to also ignore it. Okay, now we are going to be drafting a basic bodice block. So we are going to start with drafting the basic bodice block half scale. Okay, Let's start with the half scale, after which we'll proceed to every other format of drafting a basic bodice block. Okay, now to draft a basic bodice block half scale, now the first thing you should do is derive the biggest part of the measurement. Now, what is the biggest part of the measurement? The biggest part of the measurement for the half scale, it means the measurements will be basically from the shoulder to the waist. So obviously the biggest part of the measurement for the half scale will be the bust circumference. Now that is for the measurement that I'm working with, okay? But if your client has a measurement that her waist, for those that have big tummy, is bigger than the bust measurement, please use it that way. If your own measurement is that way, use it that way. Don't say I said that it must be the bust measurement. No, I've seen situations whereby some people's waists are the same with their bust, situations whereby some people's waist measurement is even slightly bigger than their bust measurement. So if you're drafting a pattern for such people to make a dress for them, you have to put this into consideration and use the biggest part of their measurements. I hope this makes sense to you. Okay, so let's start. The first thing that we are going to do is, like I said earlier, derive the biggest measurement. And the biggest measurement that I would be working with here is a bust measurement. And for this pattern, I'm working with 39. Okay? I'm working with 39. So I am going to divide 39, which is the biggest measurement that I have, into 2. So this is the fastest way that I do my divisions in order for me to be right at all times when it comes to dividing, if I don't have my calculator handy. So I use my tape measurement to divide. So I got 19.5. This is the biggest part of my measurement here. So this 19.5, I am not just going to be using it this way. I might decide to add like an inch or 2 inches so that I'll have an ease in my measurement. So I'll just add 1 inch. So if I'm adding 1 inch to 19.5, which is division of my full bust circumference, I'll be having 20.5. So I'll go ahead and mark 20.5 here. Okay, I've marked my 20.5. I'll take it down again, 20.5. I'll move it down a little bit again, and I'll mark 20.5. So how do I know how long I'm going to make this half length now? Remember that we took measurements earlier, and from the measurement that I have here, from the front waist height, that's the half length for the front, is 17. So you're going to place your tape measure and take it down to 17. You take it down to 17 again. You continue like that till the 19.5 horizontal, to the 20.5 horizontal that you have already marked. Okay, so this is 17 this way. So having gotten this now, I'll just rule across. Okay, I'll rule across my length measurement here. Okay, so I've ruled this across now, and I'll connect this one being the 20.5 that I've gotten before. So I've connected it. So what next am I going to do? I'm going to divide this 20.5 that I've gotten, which is the horizontal measurement. I'll go ahead again and divide it into 2. Okay, so 20.5 divided into 2, I should be having 10.25. So from here, I'll just mark my 10.25 on my tape measure. Okay, 10.25, 10.25 that way. Then I'll mark my 10.25 again. Okay, then I'll go ahead again and I'll connect it together. So now we have gotten our base. We'll continue with the rest. Now the next thing that you're going to be doing is to determine the side of this box that you have created that you want to use for the back, and the side that you want to use for the front. Okay, so I'll use this as my back while I use this as my front. So I'll just label this as the center back and label this other one as the center front. Okay, so I'll label this as my center back while I label this as my center front. So the next thing that I'm going to do now at this point is to get the length of my back. That's my back waist length, and my back waist length from the measurement is 15. So I'm going to mark it across this way. I'll mark 15, 15, and I'll go ahead and connect. Is that easy? Okay, that's easy. I hope you're enjoying the class. Step by step we'll get it together. Yeah, I forgot to add this in one of the requirements for pattern drafting. It's very necessary. You can also get the white tape or this paper tape or masking tape. Okay, it's very, very necessary. So now we have gotten the back and we have gotten the front. The next thing that we are going to be doing is to put in our vertical measurement. Okay, now how are we going to get the next vertical measurement? We've already gotten the waist. The next thing is to determine where we are going to put our bust line. That's chest line. The chest line. So how do you get the chest line? Normally, to get the chest line, you divide the hip measurement. You divide the bust measurement. I'm working with a bust of 39. I'll divide 39 by 6. I'm getting 6.5. Okay, plus 1.5, which is 8. Okay, so that's 8. Now I'll keep it aside. I'll have it in mind that that is going to be my chest line. But before we add this 8 measurements, we are going to get the sloper of the basic bodice. So how do we get this sloper? You put in the shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement that I'll be working with is say shoulder measurement of 15. So it means I'm going to put in 7.5 here on this point. From the center point, I'll put in 7.5. Then I'll come to this point. I'll start from this line, which is for my center back line. Just like the way I start from the center front line here, I'll still come and put my 7.5. Okay, so from this 7.5 points that I have made now, for the front, dear soulmates, I'll come down by 1.5 inch for the front. I'll just point it here, 1.5 inch from this point that I have made. I'll come to the back. I'll come down by 1 inch for the back. Okay, now I have made my point. Now I'll come back again to this shoulder line. Normally you're supposed to have like a base for your curving of the neckline and all. So normally I do 3 by 3 for the front, or you can divide your bust measurement by 20. Whatever you get, you can use it. Okay, so I'll mark 3 inches and I'll come here and mark 3 inches, but 3 by 3 is the standard before you start altering it or doing any other thing. That's for the front. Now for the back, you can do 3 by 1 or 3 by half. Okay, now once you have done that, you can come in with your curve and get a beautiful base here. Okay, please take note of the way that I'm using the curves. So I've gotten that, then I'll come to the back as well, and I will get a sweet curve just like this. Okay, now remember that I have points that I have already made. I'll come from this 1.5 drop line that I made earlier. I'll connect it to this 3 inches which I took out for my neck. I'll connect it down to that point. Then I'll come to the back, connect from the 1 inch drop line that I made. I'll connect it down to the 3 inches of the neck. So the next thing that I'm going to do now is take this our shoulder measurement that we have here. Take note of it. It's 7.5, right? Okay, now remember that I got 8 when I divided my bust measurements. I did 39 divided by 6, then I added 1.5 to it. So that 1.5 is 8. So that 8 now, I'll come back here and add this 1 inch slope down, which makes it a total of 9. So from this center now, I will mark 9 inches. Okay, I'll mark 9 inches. I'm marking it all the way down. I'm marking it all the way down. Mark 9 inches. 9 inches. So I'm going to connect both for the front through to the back. Okay, so this is it. So on this chest line here, I'll label it as chest line. I'll label this as chest line as well. So on this chest line, I will come back and put my 7.5 shoulder measurement. I'll come back here and I'll do the same thing as well. Okay, so now that I have done that, dear DM tribe, I am going to connect this line with a straight rule. I'm going to collect from the shoulder slope down to the chest line. Okay, just the way I have shown you, just like that. I'll do the same thing for the center back and connect as well. So I'm excited. Our half scale basic bodice block is gradually taking shape. Okay, I don't know if you're excited as I am. All right, so the next thing that we are going to do now is to get the waist measurement and impute our darts and finish up our armhole. Okay, now let's start with finishing up the armhole.
Please like, share, and subscribe to Sewing with the Minaj for more interesting and educative sewing videos. Please check the caption or the comment section for the part two of this video to get value for the time invested. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the support. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.